Welcome back to Shakesyear. We are so close to being done with Henry VI, Part 3. I feel like we're really getting to know these guys, right? Except they're all dying on us now. So War of the Roses is still going on. People are flipping sides all over the place. King Edward is saying that he's king. King Henry has been captured. He's in the Tower. Yesterday, all of the York boys killed Prince Edward, who was Henry VI's son, the heir that he disinherited to kick off this whole play. So Prince Edward is dead, and yesterday we had the Queen berating the Yorkists for that, and also sort of pleading for her own death because her son is now dead. So she was saying, like, just kill me too, and they're like, no, not quite yet. And they finally drag her out kicking and screaming, and then they're like, where did Richard run off to so quick? I think he went to the Tower, probably to kill himself a king. So here in Act 5, Scene 6, we get to hear from King Henry VI himself, who is imprisoned in the Tower, and Richard comes to see him, and Richard dismisses the guard that happens to be there, and Henry and Richard get into a verbal spat, and Henry kind of kicks it off. He's like, oh, good, my lord. Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have used the word good because you're not, and all that sort of thing. And Richard stands there and continues to sort of taunt him, and Henry really lets it be known how angry he is that Richard killed his son. I'm not exactly sure how word got to him that Richard had killed his son, but it does come about, and that Henry knows this. What is this bit of hair doing? And they're going back and forth and escalating the insults and that kind of a thing until Edward is finally just like, yeah, I killed your son because he was presumptuous. And Henry retorts, hadst thou been killed when first you did presume, thou hadst not lived to kill a son of mine. And thus I prophesy that many a thousand, which now mistrust no parcel of my fear, and many an old man's sigh, and many a widow's, and many an orphan's water-standing eye, men for their sons, wives for their husbands, orphans for their parents' timeless death, shall rue the hour that ever thou wast born. The owl shrieked at thy birth, an evil sign. The night crow cried, a boding luckless time. Dogs howled, and hideous tempest shook down trees. The raven rooked her on the chimney's top, and chattering pies in dismal discords sung. Thy mother felt more than a mother's pain, yet brought forth less than a mother's hope. To wit, an indigested and deformed lump, not like the fruit of such a goodly tree. Teeth hadst thou in thy head when thou wast born, to signify thou camest to bite the world, and if the rest be true, which I have heard, thou camest... And he gets cut off because Richard stabs him. Richard's just like, enough of that. Meh. Stabs him. And then he dies. And then tomorrow we get to hear what Richard has to say about that. But it's an interesting piece, because as much as Henry was not fighting for his son Edward at the beginning of the play, as quick as he was to be like, I'm doing him a favor by taking the crown away from him and letting him lead a normal life, and as mild as he's been through all three Henry VI plays, he's always trying to be the peacekeeper. He's always trying to figure out a way that stuff can be settled with words, so that people don't actually have to go to fight. But now, when it really comes down to it, he hates Richard so much and is so resentful of what Richard did that he just lets it go, and then he gets stabbed, which we kind of knew was going to happen to him anyway. But yeah, it's interesting to see that as mild as he was, and as potentially dismissive or misguided he might have been in his attempt to parent his son Edward, he really did love him, and the death of his son killed him. Anyway, so long to Henry VI. but not quite to the play. We've got just a smidge of the play left to go. I think there's like 2 days left of this. And then we get into Henry VIII. And I'll see you tomorrow to see how we wrap all of this one up. Mwah.